Hey guys, it's Melanie Hinds. I'm doing your Iraqi dinars fastest summary. And guys, I got another article that says, this is in addition to this morning's live stream. I'm going to be live at 5. We're going to celebrate. So this says Iraq's CF demands guarantee from the U.S. You know, we said they had done a talk at the UN, I think January 2024, then they hosted the G77. I mean, Iraq has just been continually praised for its security and stability. Well, this article comes out today after I did my morning summary, so it's not on the morning live stream. It said Iraq's ruling bloc, the coordination framework, demands guarantees from the U.S. Iraq's CF demands guarantees from the U.S. is the title. It says Iraq's ruling bloc, the coordination framework, delivered a message to the United States through Iraq's presidential delegation attending the 80th session of the United States General Assembly in New York. A source reported on Saturday. According to the source, the CF, a political alliance of predominantly Shiite parties, seeks assurances that the U.S. will uphold the recent security agreement, shield Iraq from external attacks under any pretext, and honor the agreed timeline for U.S. troop withdrawals. He added that Washington's response could shape the trajectory of bilateral relations, particularly in economic and investment sectors, noting that Iraq has fully met all of its obligations under the deal. And they have. They've met, even Mr. T said that when he came on my live stream back in January. They had already met all their requirements. Now we hear that the troops are being removed. My guys have gone silent because they're part of the security forces there in Iraq. It says the security partnership between Iraq and the United States is based on key agreements, including the 2008 Strategic Framework Agreement and the Status of Forces Agreement, which define the framework for military cooperation in the presence of U.S. troops. I thought this was worthy to note, and I wanted to bring it to you. That's why I'm doing this summary. The other thing was, in my morning live stream, Iraq's vision for 2050 road project to drive 20% of Asia's European flows. That was a big article. I went through the details. It says, unveiling Iraqi Vision 2050 in Baghdad, al-Sudani forecasts that the project centered on the Grand Al-Fal port in southern Iraq and linking the Gulf to Europe via the rail and highway corridors through Turkey would create 1.5 million knowledge-based and entrepreneurial jobs for Iraqi youth. That is huge, guys, for the youth there. He described the long-term vision as a pathway to move beyond oil dependency and build a diversified economy. So, guys, I'm telling you, it seems like it could be really close. And then Iraq is absent from the top 20 U.S. bondholders. Why do you think that is? I don't know. Comment down below. Also, the USD-IQD exchange rates decline in Baghdad and Erbil, which is typical. And then I just thought that article was worthy of going into in detail. I saw it after I was looking whether I was going to do this or not. And then the digital dinar on Handle Forex, which anybody can find or trade. Somebody asked this morning. I thought that was a good question. They could trade. You could trade it, I guess. It's on Handle Forex on Coinbase. It's 129. It was 130 this morning. So if you like that kind of thing, it's a digital Iraqi dinar coin. It's a stable coin for Iraq. It is on. That means their systems are ready to go. They are fully digital because it takes a stable coin to run those systems. That's my opinion, based on what our military has sold us. Also, a good friend of mine sent this to me late last night that says, here, let me get my glasses for this one. It says, signatures were all put in place and signed. They're done. All are saying it is all released and ready to go. If anything negative, there was a 2-day wait. Even that was signed. But if they wait, that would be 2 days starting yesterday. The RV will be announced in the morning or evening time when things are closed. We should see the RV in the morning tomorrow. The list of who goes first. First, the banks, people, and international. Second, the national banks, people. Third, the internet groups, which is us. Fourth is everyone else. Those are people that may not be aware of it, but us that are paying attention to it. It says Venezuela is still questionable still now. I am optimistic that it will go rates 11 cents to 30 cents to 50 cents. I also heard other rates in the past of 53 and 83 cents. So ask for the highest rates. Just got a message saying it's done. They're trying to push it out now. Hopefully we'll get our information in the morning so we can go to the bank. That came in yesterday at 9:05, which is Friday night. So, guys, what do you think? Comment down below. But I wanted to bring you this because I thought it was worthy of bringing to you, even though it was my day of rest. Also, let's see, what is everybody else saying? Oh, somebody asked me this morning that. I'm not going to go into that. It's still on Forex at 0.00076. I know the light's a little funny, but you get what you get, I guess. This is the summary of everybody else. Everybody's across the board saying they think it's done. There are a couple pundits in here that don't relate that. I did read it ahead of time again, trying to decide whether this was worth my time. I'm going to be live at 5. Frank26, question, do you think President Trump will announce the go-ahead? He said no. President Trump has no authority, no position whatsoever to announce it, but he does push it. He pushes it like a bulldozer. What do you think about Frank26 comments? I do think President Trump wants this because, again, he has said in a interview that the U.S. Treasury holds $35 billion US worth of Iraqi dinar. Walking stick, the release of the lower notes has to be precisely calculated. If not, you're going to deal with a lot of problems. This is all part of the calculation when they release a new exchange rate. That is so true. They've got to be careful. It's a very sticky situation when you're revaluing a currency, but it's been done before. There's historical replication with Kuwait, and they said it wasn't going to happen for a year, and it happened overnight. So I think it could happen anytime. Sandy Ingram says, when people talk about exotic currencies, one name always comes up first, the Iraqi dinar. Although it's not on the UN's exotic currencies list anymore. None of them are. Right? They're going to let the market decide. So we're hoping this comes soon. It says it captures attention because Iraq is sitting on some of the largest oil reserves in the world, and that fuels the belief that one day the dinar could be revalued on the global market. Add in the talk of IMF-backed reforms, International Monetary Fund, backed reforms in Iraq's massive development road project, which I just talked to you about in Sudani's comments today, and investors see a currency with a long-term potential and chance of dramatic gains. Our investment in the Iraqi dinar and all other exotic currencies is still speculative. She has to say that. Then another comment from Frank26. Based on what Sudani is telling you, Iraqi citizens, in his opinion, the IQD will soon be on the international market. Looks like they are preparing to give you the new exchange rate. That's why they're telling you all these things. They're like preliminary steps before you receive your purchasing power. The security and stability you have is what's making this work. Thanks to Donald Trump, we are living in the final countdown. That was Frank's words, not mine. Mark Z, question, if I understand this correctly, the dinar we exchange at a U.S. bank will go to the U.S. Treasury. The Treasury will then use it to buy physical oil from Iraq over 20 to 30 years. Mark Z said exactly, and maybe as much as over 50 years, is what I was told, and that is why they may be paying us over and above the street rate, because they want our dinar for cheaper oil. That is Mark's perspective, and again, him and Bruce are the ones that talk about the redemption centers. Bruce is next. Bruce says, via Wiser Now, if you see somebody there saying there aren't redemption centers, they're only banks, I can tell you it's a lie, big time lie. There's one guy who's managing 7 redemption centers. There's another guy in the Southwest that's over 6 redemption centers. Here's another guy also in the Southwest that's over 6 redemption centers. He said, I know them by name. I know who they are. I know where their redemption centers are, what towns they're in. We talk to these people. Then Mountain Goat says, Iraq and the Kurdistan region reached an oil agreement. The condition for implementing this decision is that the Iraqi government submits the contract to the advisory committee of the Iraqi oil ministry. The committee is expected to give its final answer within the 48 hours so that the tripart deal can be formalized and go into effect. This could lead Iraq to finally getting an oil and gas law referendum in place, as the Constitution called for the U.S. and IMF for mandating it in place. And that's it, guys. What do you think? Comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And guys, are you going to be on the 5 o'clock celebration? If so, join us then. I'll see you then. Guys, I love you all so much, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. If you're not on the 5 o'clock, on the 5 o'clock, I'm probably going to have at least one margarita and celebrate and teach you how you can help us manifest this. I'll see you later. Bye. And happy Sabbath to anybody. Mine was ruined by my dog again, but she's older. I'm keeping her in the crate. I'm not going to give her any real food along with her chicken and rice, and I hope that helps. I don't want to have to clean up like, God, that took a while. Talk to you later. Bye.